What's going on, boys? Today we're talking a bit about O&A. We're also talking about Tough Crowd. Not everything that made those two things special, because there isn't enough time in a day, but some of them. I don't know how to title this video. I'm not sure exactly where this is going. We'll go. I initially started listening to O&A and watching Tough Crowd because of Patrice. But over the years, I've found myself paying close attention to every project all those people are working on now, have worked on. Watching videos beyond just the O&A Patrice playlist. And what got me interested in that web of ghouls, and keeps me interested in them now, not just watching what they're doing today, but poring over all the hidden little gems, is the fact every single person in that web I love and I hate. And for each and every single one of them, I cannot figure out whether I love them more than I hate them, or I hate them more than I love them. In the awfulness, you get to see individuals' humanity. First and foremost, Opie. Opie is easily the most hated figure from that group. And he earns that hatred. At his worst, that's the thing, it's not just at his worst, because the worst and the best for all of them are operating simultaneously. At any given moment, Opie is ruining something with his stupidity. Ruining a joke, being a dick, not even in a funny way, no social skills, fragile ego, all that. Ruining things. Hate him. But then, you pay more attention, you realize he's not an awful person. He's one of the only people on the O&A chain of command who tries to take care of people, watch out for people, get people more money. Even if they have to do awful things to get it, they still get taken care of. Patrice actually liked him. Not faking it. You don't call up someone on an off day and talk to them for an hour shooting the shit if you don't like them. And even if you think all his problems, actions, and reactions are stupid, when he lays out why he's feeling the way he's feeling, you can see why he would feel the way he feels. It makes sense, it's human. But then you go a level deeper and you realize, yes, he is actually an awful person. He's awful to the staff and everybody else. I still get violently angry anytime I listen to the Steve Carlisi beatings. Especially considering what ended up happening with Steve. Or when he's just an asshole to people because he can be, because of his position. But that's what I'm talking about. I can't figure out whether I like this person or I hate him. There is clean logic for both. There are valid and compelling reasons to hate him and to love him, but if you try to go one way or the other, you're ignoring the logic for the other side. But you can't go both ways. You have Jim Norton. Same thing. He's a worm. He tries to frame himself as sensitive, enlightened, and real, but he's a dumb, fake fool. But not always, neither always. He is sensitive, enlightened, and real sometimes. And he is a dumb, fake fool sometimes. It depends on the issue. It's never consistent. He's never consistent. Again, hard to tell if you love him or hate him. You love him and you hate him. Equal measure. He's an emotional sniper. He can get a bead on someone's emotions and change from shouty sock puppet into gentle, caring guy. And get someone to emote with him. And then you find out he was doing that for effect. What an asshole. But then other times, he'll accidentally get a beat on someone's emotions and he'll break down. What are you supposed to do with that as a viewer? What are you supposed to think of that? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. Outwardly, if I'm having a hard time deciding between loving or hating someone, I side toward hating externally to keep safe, but I'm still trying to figure it out inside. And you can go all the way down the list. Patrice, even. On the O&A appearances, typically he makes a good showing, but there are moments he isn't funny, and he fucks up jokes the way Opie does. It's crazy. Inside, you know everyone is human and fallible, but the pressure of that show or that web of people makes people be human, makes them fuck up. And I earlier mentioned paying attention to people's work now, looking for gems even in current stuff, because I'm still trying to figure these things out. Anthony. Colin Quinn showed up on a Zoom Chip Chipperson podcast. Anthony shows up late, drunk, acting weirder than normal, and they end up talking about how at Patrice's funeral, each of his closest friends received one of his hats as a memento. I never knew that. Nobody I've ever seen it talked about anywhere. That's the first time I've ever heard about that. Colin Quinn got a huge black cowboy hat. But then Anthony starts shit-talking Patrice, calling him a dumb fat fuck, diabetes, maybe don't eat a Snickers, be alive a little while, fucking idiot wouldn't listen to people, making everyone very uncomfortable. And as a viewer, I already have a hard time liking Anthony because I see where he's coming from most of the time. With a similar kind of background, how do you turn into that without ever stopping yourself on any level, or reflecting, seeing your own hypocrisy for what it is, trying to fix it? And another thing, you'll notice when people paraphrase or quote Patrice, they talk in normal voices. Anthony paraphrases or quotes Patrice in an exaggerated black accent, which is not the way Patrice spoke, and it makes me think that's what he hears, which is agitating enough. Now, for him to be shit-talking a dead dude who was the best. What the fuck are you doing? But you take that snippet and rewatch it a few times, and then compare it to conversations that happened in the past over the years. And then you start thinking, is that Anthony being a shithead because he is a shithead, or is it because he's trying to cover up hurt in some kind of weird moment that he went into that podcast with? It's hard enough to tell. I think it would be hard enough to tell if you didn't have bias. But of the people in that web, I have the most bias toward Anthony. So it's extra hard for me to come to any kind of conclusion on what that was or what that connection was like. If there was one, if there wasn't one. There must have been one, but maybe there wasn't. It's hard to tell. That's one of the main reasons I keep watching these nobodies. It's a puzzle with no clear answer, partially because you're never going to have all the pieces to put things together, Quentin Compson style, but also because your emotional or moral or personality, social interaction-y conclusions reflect on you as an individual as well as or more than even on them. There's always more evidence to find, more sides of these people to chew on and reflect on. And now I'm aggravated because I wanted to use this video to talk about more things. Creepy shit, irrelevance shit, but this is where this topic is over. In summary, humanity is what keeps O&A and the tough crowd people interesting. And if you want to reflect on humans and on yourself, look for O&A and tough crowd stuff. You will not find anything that human or that honest anywhere else. But that about rippity wraps this one up. I hope you enjoyed watching, because I certainly enjoyed making it. Monetized. We'll talk more about that in an update, maybe. Like if you enjoyed, because it helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't, because we do this shit sometimes, and comment your thoughts, because I love hearing from you. But thanks again for watching, everybody. Really, we have a lot of fun on this channel. So much fun, in fact, you can sit it in your front yard and watch it for no other reason than you have nothing better to do. And that's so much for me on this channel, and I look forward to doing this with you guys again in the future.